Listen, he's not the same player he once was. He's not going to when you look at Messi's career, dribbling past two, three, four players, one, twos, he's not that Messi anymore. Lionel Messi is 39 years old, and he just made some of the biggest names in English football question everything they thought they knew about him. He knows how good he is. He's the best to ever play the game. He's a god. Let's be honest, he is. Before this semifinal, Joe Cole looked into the camera and said England were going to put Messi to sleep. Yeah, we'll have to put him to bed, mate. No, I'm not. Don't say that. No, we're going to put him. Gary Neville believed England's pace and superior squad would be too much. I actually think we need an open game. We've got quicker players than them. We've got more speed, Gary. We've got better width, and we've got higher energy. So let's try and play to our strengths. Make it an open game. Ian Wright believed Argentina's narrow system would play straight into England's hands. I don't fear Argentina like I'd fear France or Spain, because I think that Argentina, there's a lot of fallacies with them. We know what we can exploit. Across television studios, podcasts, and fan interviews, the message was the same. England had finally found the blueprint to stop Lionel Messi. And for almost an hour, it looked like they were right. England led 1-0. Messi was unusually quiet. Argentina hadn't registered a single shot on target. Jude Bellingham was smiling during a heated exchange with Messi, and England looked completely in control. Then, football reminded everyone why Lionel Messi has spent nearly 2 decades making experts rewrite their opinions. He drifted away from England's press, found a new pocket of space, and with just 2 moments of genius, turned a World Cup semifinal upside down. The fact that the best player on the planet has turned up, showed everybody how to play football and get the result, is a really nice ending to an otherwise miserable day. 2 assists in 7 minutes. England collapsed to just 12% possession after taking the lead. The tactical plan that had frustrated Messi for an hour became the very reason he decided the match. When it got to that last half an hour and England sat deep and tried to protect the lead, which was stupid, he was given the freedom of the final third to go and do what he does best. And he was brilliant. But this story is much bigger than 2 assists. Wayne Rooney's career was over at 35. Eden Hazard retired at 32. Ronaldo had long left elite football. Maradona and Pelé were no longer playing by this age. Yet at 39, Messi is leading Argentina into a 3rd World Cup final, battling Kylian Mbappe, Erling Haaland, and Harry Kane for the Golden Boot, while chasing an unprecedented 3rd World Cup Golden Ball. And then came the part nobody expected. There's no individual that can deal with him. The same voices that confidently predicted England would stop Messi suddenly found themselves explaining why nobody could. Gary Neville questioned England's defending. The mistake he made was going to 5-3-2, which meant the midfield 3. Messi then saw the space in his position. Ian Wright explained how Messi had manipulated England's shape. It turned into players loading up to be defensive, something Messi wants. Messi wants to tackle through people and dribble through people, put the ball in the box to chaos. Harry Kane admitted England retreated too much. Jude Bellingham called it a privilege to play against him. One by one, the conversation changed. Not because anyone stood in front of a camera and apologized, but because football had already said it for them. This is the day football delivered the loudest apology Lionel Messi never had to ask for. England didn't walk in hoping Messi had an off night. They walked in convinced they'd solved him. You heard it everywhere. Studios, podcasts, taxi drivers, the same argument. Argentina had Messi, but England were younger, quicker, deeper, and built to trouble this version of him. Joe Cole gave the boldest take. We're putting Messi to sleep. Backed England for the final, said they had too much pace. Micah Richards tried to talk him down. Cole wasn't having it. Felt it in his bones. Easy to laugh at now, but it wasn't blind patriotism. England had the legs. Pre-match tracking had them in 7 of the top 10 spots for top speed. Gordon, Spence, and Rashford were the quickest men out there, and Bellingham had 328 sprints across the tournament, nearly 90 more than anyone else in this game. The shape suited them too. 74% of England's threat came from wide, split evenly. Argentina played narrow. Wide midfielders tucked in, leaving lanes for England's wingers and fullbacks to exploit. Which is why Ian Wright's prediction wasn't just vibes. He said England would win because of how narrow Scaloni's side played. Block the middle, break outside it. Neville landed on the same conclusion, backed the pace and depth, couldn't see England failing to score twice, and called Romero and Lisandro Martinez the best-worst center-half pairing in the world. Brilliant and reckless, gifting chances they shouldn't. Evidence backed him. Argentina hadn't cruised. Extra time to beat Cabo Verde 3-2, 2-0 down to Egypt before winning 3-2, extra time again against Switzerland 3-1. 10 of their 17 goals, 59%, came after the 76th minute. Survivors, not dominators. Carragher gave the sharpest version, not dismissing Messi. Called him arguably the tournament's best. Admitted football still hadn't solved him after 20 years. But his point, Messi conserves energy off the ball, doesn't press, walks while you build. So don't babysit him. Attack the space he leaves, especially down that left. Make the other 9 cover for him. Nobody sane thought he'd lost it. 8 goals, level with Mbappe on the Golden Boot. 60 passes into the box. Argentina's most dangerous creator by miles. Argentina were the tournament's top scorers, 17 goals across 8 players, but he was 39. England's bet was that age had quietly taken the edges off. Constant pressing, squeeze his space, go quick down the flanks, make it physical, and his influence shrinks. The numbers had this close, not a mismatch. England around 52% to reach the final in one model, 50.9 to 49.1 in another. A coin toss a lot of English pundits figured would land on pace and width. Tuchel had his own logic. Argentina's attack runs through the middle, Messi between the lines, McAllister and Enzo pushing around him, De Paul underneath, Alvarez making the runs that open gaps. So the plan wasn't to man-mark Messi, it was to shrink the room. Rice and Anderson sat in front of the back four. Bellingham dropped when needed. Kane and the wide men narrowed the press. Messi started central, drifted right, dropped deep, hunting the ball. England didn't want to win it off him instantly, just make the pass to him a pain, then swarm him. For most of the first half, it worked. Scrappy, physical, 19 fouls, 2 yellow cards, 0 shots on target by the break. Argentina had the ball. They couldn't do anything clean with it. England weren't dominating possession, just owning the zones that mattered. Messi's quiet first half wasn't an illusion. England earned it. Every check to feet centrally, Rice and Anderson closed it down. Worth remembering, though, Messi doesn't need the ball to be working. Half the job is reading it. Who steps out, who covers, where the gap opens when the block shifts. Quiet isn't absent. It's patient. The moment everyone noticed, first half stoppage time, Bellingham and Messi exchanging words over a foul. Cameras caught it all. Bellingham smiling, walking off laughing, Messi firing back a look and a wave. The internet did what it does, an instant changing of the guard narrative, 23 versus 39. Reality was tamer. Bellingham explained afterward, 2 different fouls. He told Messi he was strong enough to take it, nothing personal. Called facing him a privilege, one of the greatest ever. But in the moment, the body language told a story. Bellingham relaxed, England relaxed. Argentina hadn't managed a shot on target, and Messi was being routed away from his spots. Messi's response? Nothing rash, no forcing it, no going rogue at 3 defenders, just kept moving, testing pockets, watching. Elite patience. You don't need to win every duel now, just the one that matters later. England kept doing their homework. Pace out wide, Gordon staying high, Rodgers driving from midfield, runners released before Argentina's numbers got back. 10 minutes into the second half, it paid off. Rodgers to Gordon, 1-0, 55th minute. Every pre-match take suddenly looked bang on. The legs had stretched them, the width had cracked them, the middle was shut. A champion side already living dangerously twice in the knockouts was behind again. This was the moment England thought they'd cracked it. Except one detail. Nobody had banked yet. Messi hadn't been switched off. He'd been put on hold. England had controlled where he got the ball, how fast, how many bodies waited. What they hadn't tested was holding that concentration for another half hour with tiring legs and the pull to sit deeper creeping in. Because stopping Messi running the first hour is the easy part. Stopping him from learning what that hour just taught him, that's different. England won the opening exchanges, shut the middle, rationed his touches, turned their legs into a goal. Plan A worked beautifully. Shame football goes on for 90 minutes. England's mistake wasn't scoring first. It was letting that goal change the game they were playing. For 55 minutes, Tuchel's plan had Argentina rattled, tight in the middle, winning second balls, dangerous enough on the break that Argentina thought twice about committing bodies forward. Gordon's goal should have added fuel. Instead, it flipped the switch from attack to protect. Argentina pushed harder. Higher midfielders, earlier fullbacks, more bodies forward. England dropped deeper, shrinking the space behind their defense, but handing over the space in front of it. Against Messi, that's the space that kills you. The pocket just outside the box where he can face goal, take his time, and pick his poison. Early on, Messi worked centrally, hunting gaps behind Rice and Anderson. England swarmed it well. After the goal, he drifted right instead, into the half space between England's left back and center back. The marking math got messy. Follow him inside, Argentina release a runner outside, shift a midfielder across, Enzo or De Paul get the middle, nobody follows, he turns with the whole box in front of him. Going wide didn't shrink his influence, it widened his view. Tuchel tried to armor up, moving to a back five, changing personnel. Made sense on paper, except formations don't defend themselves. England gained a body, but lost the pressure that actually matters. Tuchel admitted after that the gaps had grown too big, and England just weren't active enough in whatever shape they used. Wingbacks pinned deep, midfield afraid to step out, forwards cut adrift. Argentina strolled through it. Between Gordon's goal and Alvarez's winner, England had 12% possession. Not a team defending a lead, a team that had lost the plot on where the game was even being played. The counter vanished too. Every clearance rushed straight back to an Argentina midfielder. Every blocked chance just another wave. England pressed for about 60 minutes, then dropped off, and that gave Argentina all the composure they needed. Messi wasn't sprinting through anyone. He was setting the tempo. England's block had to move at. Patience like that doesn't break a defense with one pass. It breaks it through 40 small moments of whose job was that. 68th minute, first warning. Messi finds Gonzalez. The goalkeeper saves brilliantly. 8 minutes later, McAllister rattles the post. Same pattern. Circulate round the box, drag the line, attack the gap it leaves. The extra defender wasn't stopping any of it. It was trapping England inside their own box. The equalizer, 85th minute. Messi drifts in from the right, drags 3 defenders towards him, slides it to Enzo, smart enough to sit outside the crowd. Enzo smashes it in, a gorgeous finish built entirely on spacing. 1-1 should have been England's reset button. Instead, their subs and shape were already locked into defend mode. The winner? 2nd minute of stoppage time. McAllister hits the post again. England fail to push out. Messi mops up the loose ball. Doesn't cross early or late. Times it perfectly. His teammate heads home. Classic Messi assist. Not because of some outrageous piece of skill, but because every decision was correct. 2 assists, 2 different problems solved. First, he drew the press and released the free man. Second, he stayed outside the crowd and floated it over. England tried closing him down. He used it against them. Then tried staying compact. He passed above them. England hadn't gone bad. The first hour proved otherwise. But retreat and every strength curdles. Pace stretches nobody if the runners sit deep. A midfield can't crowd Messi while babysitting the box. More bodies, less authority. Post-match, the tune flipped fast. Before kickoff, Cole putting Messi to sleep, Neville on England's legs, Wright on blocking and breaking, after never asking why nobody got tight to Messi when it mattered. Wright admitting surrounding him with bodies is exactly what he thrives on, and Richards boiling it down best. There are moments in games. That is why Messi is the greatest. Kane was blunt too. England played well, then just tried to hang on, and wave after wave isn't survivable by parking the bus. Even Bellingham's tone shifted. The cheeky first-half exchange became, afterward, a straight admission that facing Messi was a privilege. Scaloni closed the book simply. His players felt England doubting themselves, and once they smelled it, they went again. England's read on Argentina, narrow, messy, light on defensive work, ripe for pace and width, wasn't wrong. The mistake was believing you could exploit it while handing back the ball, the space, and the initiative. Messi didn't erase England's plan, he just waited for them to stop running it. Now, playing pro football at 39 is unusual. Running a World Cup semifinal at 39 is basically unheard of. Longevity alone isn't the story. Keepers and center backs stretch careers into their late 30s all the time. Messi's doing something else. He's not being protected. He's still the reason Argentina builds every attack. Still the reason opponents redesign their whole shape around one man. So let's put him next to the greats. Not to diminish anyone, just to show what the normal aging curve looks like, even for legends. Wayne Rooney, 5 Premier Leagues, a Champions League, England's record scorer before Kane passed him, hung up his boots at 35 to go into management. By 39, 4 years retired. Eden Hazard, peak era Chelsea genius. Injuries wrecked his Madrid years. Done at 32, he won't even turn 39 for years. Messi is doing this at an age Hazard is still half a decade from reaching. Iniesta played on into his 40s in Japan and the UAE, well outside Europe. Xavi was coaching full-time by 39. Lampard, remarkable durability, still retired at 38. Then the two that actually matter here, because their whole game, like Messi's, ran on imagination over power. Ronaldo was doing exhibition matches by the age he'd have turned 39. Maradona, the man who tore England apart in '86 with the goal of the century, played his last competitive match at 37. Pelé finished with the Cosmos at 36, 6 years after his last Brazil cap. Different eras, different positions, no two careers equal, but the patterns impossible to ignore. By 39, almost every great attacker in the game's history had already stepped away or become a shadow of themselves. Messi's still in the middle of the World Cup, and not against some tired old guard. Against Mbappe, level with him on 8 goals and in the mix for both major awards. Against Haaland, 7 goals before Norway went out. Against Kane, 6 and still creating, 7 years younger. And even he looks like the elder statesman in this comparison. Against Bellingham, 6 goals of his own. Against a teenage sensation born the year Messi was already a first-team Barcelona player, now lining up in the same final, 20 years between them. Plus a young Brazilian star with 5 direct contributions. These aren't fading names propping up his legend. These are the players elite football is currently built around, and he's not sharing the tournament with them, he's competing for the same trophies. He's already won 2 World Cup Golden Balls, 2014, 2022. Nobody else has managed it twice. A third would be his alone forever. This is also his 3rd final. 2014, lost to Germany. 2022, a brace in the final, won the shootout, lifted it. 2026, at 39, chasing what only Brazil in '62 have ever done, retaining the trophy. The road here wasn't gentle either. A hat trick to open against Algeria, goals against Austria and Jordan, then Cabo Verde needing extra time, Egypt going 2-0 up before Argentina clawed it back, Switzerland into extra time again, England leading with 35 minutes left in the semi. He's now the outright top scorer in World Cup history, and none of it came without him still being the swing factor, exactly when age is supposed to show up and ruin your day. The acceleration's gone, but the game he plays now runs on reading the picture earlier. He doesn't need to win as many physical battles because he's already 3 moves ahead of the ones coming. For years, English football kept adding conditions to his greatness. Can he do it without Barcelona? Can he carry Argentina? Can he win the World Cup? Can he still do it once the legs go? By now, he'd answered nearly all of it. Every generation arrives with more speed, better data, sharper ideas for stopping him. Every tournament produces a fresh reason he shouldn't still be doing this. He's not remarkable because he's still playing. He's remarkable because the biggest matches are still waiting for him to decide.